Hi everybody, I just finished my Paris Hilton inspired makeup tutorial, so you may have just seen that, and like I said in that tutorial, if you did see it, I am going to do this video on how to spot a MAC pigment, a fake MAC pigment I should say, on eBay, because there seems to be a lot of them. So right here I have my own fake MAC pigments that I bought on eBay, and I'm going to show you some things to point out that they're not real. Some of them are kind of hard to see without actually having the product in hand. So the things I'm going to tell you, I would advise if you're kind of like debating, should I bid on this, should I not? Definitely ask the things I'm going to point out to you, ask the seller and see how they answer you. If you already bought it and you won the item and you just got it in the mail, use the things I'm going to tell you, to look it over and check it out for yourself to see if it's fake before you leave feedback. Because once you leave feedback and say great item, exactly as described, seller was great, you're kind of screwed. You can't do anything else. So with that being said, one of the easiest things to first look out for is price. A lot of times I've seen these auctions for like 30, 40, 50 assorted MAC pigments for like $100 or $120. MAC pigments retail for, at least in the US, for $19.50, and when you're doing like 50 MAC pigments at $120, that's less than $2.50 a piece, and there's no way an authentic seller is going to take a huge loss like that on their product. The other thing to look out for is sellers that don't have feedback, which means it'll say 0 next to their eBay username, and that means they haven't done any transactions yet. A lot of times they'll have tons of listings, tons of auctions going for all these MAC pigments, and that's another thing to watch out for, because it's like they're trying to open up shop real quick, get as much money as they can, and close out and take your money. So, but that's just something to look out for. That's not a definite. Just because somebody has no feedback or is selling a big lot doesn't mean it's a fake pigment. It's just something to keep in mind. Now, for some definite things to watch out for is if you're looking at MAC pigments and it says something like assorted MAC pigment, and you're looking at the auction and it doesn't tell you the name. Like some of MAC's real pigments are vanilla, chartreuse, teal, things like that. If it doesn't say the name of the shade and it just like has a picture of it and it just says assorted, or it'll kind of like have them stacked together and just take a picture of what it would look like without listing the shades, that's a sign that you're looking at a fake. And the reason is these fakes don't have names. They don't have, let me see if I have a label on it. Okay, this is copperized. Copperized real. See, that says copperized on it. All real MAC pigments will always say the name on the label. These fakes say something like this, A15. There's no color on it. There's no shade on it. That's kind of shady because MAC doesn't do that. The other thing, so that's one thing you can ask the seller, what are the names of these shades, and see what they tell you. If they're like, I don't know, it's just an assortment, do not bid on it. The other thing, now these things you can ask, of course, the seller if you haven't, won the item, but if you have got the item, check these points before leaving feedback. Next is the barcode. On a legitimate MAC pigment, the barcode, it's like a sticker. You can peel it off, and you can feel it's a label barcode. On the fakes, the barcode is printed right onto the box, so it's not a sticker and it's on there. MAC doesn't do that with their pigments. Other things to watch out for. Also on the bottom, on a real MAC pigment, it will also have the shade. This just has a number. That's fake. Now, the seal. On a MAC pigment, it's going to be a flat seal. It's not going to have, this is kind of raised. I'd kind of describe it kind of like the tip of a crayon, and it has that hole in the middle. So you can see that. This, that's fake. MAC doesn't do that. Now, the other thing to look for is the consistency of the product. MAC, makes their pigments are excellent. They're smooth. They're not going to have like balls. Let's see if I can find a clumpy one. You can see that. See how it's like balled like that? Yeah, a pigment shouldn't be like that. So that's some things to keep in mind and ask the seller when you're looking at an auction. What are the names of the shades? Even if they think you're weird, either they're gonna not answer you, and that's telling you that they're shady, and you're not gonna want to buy from them. You're gonna want to ask them what are the shades. If they don't answer you, say they don't know, or they start responding with these numbers like A13, A23, you're not gonna want to buy that. The other thing you're gonna ask them about the barcode. They may think it's weird, but the truth is, I've done some research on this, and a lot of these sellers don't even realize they're selling MAC fakes. They simply were the ones who bought these big auctions, like I was telling you, like these 50-piece auctions, for a ridiculously low amount of money, and their hope is to sell them individually and make more money than what they bought them for. So they don't even know themselves that they're selling fake. So they might be like, why are you asking me this? And now you're going to inform them, and you're going to know. Other things you can ask, what are the inside labels like? Can I see a picture of the back of the box? Things like that. Or, like I said, if you find this out and you've already won the item, examine all the points that I mentioned in the video before you leave feedback, and then tell the seller you want to return it for a full refund, because the seller's more likely to cooperate with you when you haven't left feedback, especially if there's somebody who does a lot of business. Now, the reason why this is so important, a lot of people might be like, what's the big deal? Yeah, some of the colors, they look very pretty. Like this one's like a blue with a gold tone to it. What else do I have? This one looks very similar to M.A.C blackened red, right here. Here's why I don't recommend using one of these. The reason is you don't know where they came from, you have no idea what's in them, and they're not going through, makeup that's sold by a manufacturer, a legitimate manufacturer, has regulations it has to pass. They need to approve every single ingredient that's in it. They need to approve the container that it's in. You have no idea. There could be lead in these. It could be any chemical. Because it's a knockoff, there's no regulations, no standards that these have to pass. You have no idea where these are. And this is a lot more serious. A lot of people, will have fake pocketbooks, fake t-shirts, whatever. That's kind of one thing, because you're not ingesting it. When you're putting something like this on your eye, or some pigments you can put on your lips, you're getting that like in your skin, in your eye, you're swallowing it, and you have no idea what's in it. So potentially it could be very dangerous. I'm sure there's some people, who have used these and say they're absolutely fine. Maybe there are, maybe there's nothing, potentially toxic in these, but it's the point you don't know. And you're getting ripped off. You're spending money thinking you're getting a good deal. You're not getting a quality product, and you have no idea what's in it. So it can be very dangerous. So just keep these things in mind when you are bidding or watching items on eBay, and just try to be safe with makeup. I'm sure there are some legitimate. I'm not saying nobody's legitimate. I'm sure there are some that are legit. As for other products that are fake, I don't know every product that's fake, so if you want to ask me some questions about some items, I'd be happy to look into it and get back to you. Right now, I just know these about the MAC pigments from my own personal experience buying them. So just watch items carefully. So I hope you guys found this informative. Bye.